the Real Estate You podcast with Lettiann.
Welcome back to our podcast, Real Estate You with Lettiann, Season 5 with a twist in the kitchen. So welcome to my kitchen. I also would like to welcome Nicole Kamradt. Nicole, thank you so much for being a guest here today.
Thank you for having me, Lettiann. Pleasure to be here.
Oh, love it. So Nicole, I'm friends with her parents. Nicole is also my buyer client and now my friend. Along with her brother Jacob. I love the Kamradts, and shout out to your parents, of course, who are likely watching us right now. But Nicole is going to be making a creamy tortellini with sauteed spinach and tomatoes, so we can't wait to get to that. And also, Nicole, you're going to tell us a little bit about she's a first-time home buyer in the midst of the buying process, and she's going to tell us about things that she didn't expect that would happen and all of that. But also, too, you are an art teacher in the Olathe School District, so love our teachers. So thank you for all that you do for our students.
Of course.
Absolutely. So if you're watching, you can download Nicole's recipe as well as all of the recipes for Season 5 when you go to our website, lettiann.com/Season 5 recipes. So we're going to get started with getting the pasta in the water and maybe sauteing some spinach, and then we're going to hear about Nicole's buying experience.
Okay. All right. If you want to go ahead and throw that
Sure.
in there, we
Yep.
can do that now. And I'm going to go ahead and get this on. Helpful. There we go.
So we have fresh tortellini,
Okay.
right? I've got fresh tortellini here.
Yes. I'm going to get
Cheese? Is it cheese or meat?
cheese. I am a vegetarian, so that is our cheese tortellini over there. And I've got about 3 tablespoons of butter going on over here in our saucepan. Nice big saucepan. We're going to do all of our sauce in this pan.
Awesome.
Personally, I'm going to go ahead and put all of it in here in the end. So when you start this one, we want to go big in this pot over here. I'm going to move that around.
So we've got so many flavors going. Nicole loves to cook with gas. And I do want to shout out to Brandon, your husband, who's watching.
Yes.
Newlyweds, Nicole and Brandon. Brandon, sorry you're not here with us today, but hello to you as well. So we have the salted water. We've got probably 3 or 4 tablespoons of butter. We're going to get that moving.
Put that down. And then we'll get flour in there to start to...
Perfect. So in the interim, tell us. So tell us what's going on. So we started working together a few months ago, and inevitably you had your first buyer experience. How is that going?
That has been going very interestingly. We have been renting for about 3 years, so we're more than ready to get into our own home. But things have been difficult lately. You know, we're on the tail end of the COVID-19 virus and how that's been affecting everything in the world, it seems. So we have taken a little bit of a break because we're a little overwhelmed, and hoping to get back into it here very soon.
What happened that made you overwhelmed?
So there's been a lot of regulations, as you can probably assume. I'm going to go ahead and throw the flour in here now.
Please do.
And trying to make sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, everybody's being safe, and we went to a showing with you, Brandon and I, and we had an experience where that was not the case, and there were lots of people who were not doing what they were supposed to be doing. And how many do you think we had at that particular show?
I literally tell people the property we went to, I say 86 to 100 people on the property, cars lined up in the street, people in the street, people in the basement, there was no rhyme or reason or no order.
It was and the house was small, so you're shuffling everywhere. Try not to touch people.
And I think when we left there and you're like, this is not a property for us anyway, I can't see anything. It was so overwhelming. Did I not go in the street and say to you and Brandon, I'm embarrassed for our industry?
Yeah.
It was not a good experience. It's not
Quite stressful.
It was stressful. I felt bad for the seller because I don't think a seller should be represented that way.
Yeah.
I think the house was sort of defiled with no one taking off shoes and things. Anyway, and I still feel badly, but I had no control over that experience for you. Of course, I did contact our board and let others know that what was happening there. But you guys are cool with saying, Uncle, we're going to take a break.
Yes. We don't have it. We're not in a huge rush. We just got married this past October. So nothing's crazy going on in our lives. No shifts in jobs. So we don't have any real reason to try to make any big moves immediately. Okay, so that in this was, what was that? A cup and a fourth of milk, half a cup of heavy cream.
Correct. While you're whisking and showing that to Alex, I'm going to go ahead and drain the tortellini here. So if you were going to give some advice to buyers today, what do you advise them?
Stick it out, I think, is one of the best things at this point, because there's a lot going on, and the market's constantly changing, and it may seem like things are, I don't want to use the word hopeless, that seems dramatic, but that it's kind of, there's a lot going on right now, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be that way forever, and it's going to be all right, and take it day by day.
So a word that's being tossed around right now is buyer fatigue.
Yeah.
And you got it early.
Yeah.
We still have buyers that we're working with, and we're in the 6th offer that has not yet been accepted, with an offer well over asking price. So when I circle back and tell you who you work with matters, it truly makes a difference. People need to know what's going on in the market, how to take best care of their buyers and best care of their sellers if they're representing the seller. Do you agree that who you work with matters?
Yes, and we love working with you.
Well, that wasn't a plug, but it's not a plug. But I think it matters. Because
I think, and one of the things that we asked because this is all new to us. We have no idea really, what the game plan is. How long is it normal for you to be looking at houses and doing things like this? And so one of the questions we asked from the last houses that we went and toured was, how long, is okay for us to keep working with you? And you told us as literally long as you need. We were like, oh, that's a relief, because, just unsure of how all of this works going into it.
Okay, I'm raising my hand because do you know what the number one complaint to the National Association of Realtors is?
What?
My realtor made me buy my house.
Oh.
Can you see that? What if you would have said to me, is it okay if we take our time, and how long do we have to work with you? And someone said, well, I'd really like you to buy a house by next month.
Right.
Or what if I would have, you would have killed me.
I would have been, okay, it was nice knowing you, bye.
Yeah. But sadly, that's the case because...
Yeah. And that stinks for people who are in the position that Brandon and I are in, where, we don't know what the norm is, I think. And that's one of the big, conversations, I think, with people who are relatively young. We're in our late 20s, first-time home buyers. So I've added, I'm going to pause for a second. What have I added?
You have added diced tomatoes.
Can of diced tomatoes.
Some onion powder.
Salt
and pepper.
And the fresh oregano and basil.
Oh, that smells so good. And when you're ready, I'm going to go ahead. Don't forget the spinach.
Spinach gotta go in too, yep.
Let's say remember the spinach. Don't forget.
Yes.
So these are interesting times, and the real estate market never remains the same. But I always encourage you, who you work with regarding your biggest asset truly matters. I joke around, but not really sometimes, that people they spend more time searching for an orthodontist than they do for the right fit realtor.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I might be together, well, we're going to be together forever, but you and I might be together for a year for the process.
Yeah.
So don't you want a good personality fit?
Yes.
Someone who knows they have your back.
Right.
And here's the deal. It's your husband's decision.
Right.
It's not mine.
Right.
My job is to direct you when the time is right.
Yeah.
I
think, like any relationship, communication is extremely important. And that's one of the things that, you need to make sure that you have a strong avenue of that in whoever you choose for your realtor. If you feel like that's not happening, maybe find somebody else, because that's a big one.
Do you know why real estate agents don't communicate sometimes? They don't know what to say. They don't have the answers. They don't want to say to you, oh, whatever.
I
don't have the answers. But the thing is, I tell people, agents in our office, I tell them, reach out to your buyer and seller at least once a week, if not more. And they'll look at me and go, well, I don't have anything to say. There's nothing new to update. I say, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Pretend like you're buying the house. Pretend like you're selling the house. Don't you want to know that your agent is still in touch with you and not, out on a cruise ship and
Right,
didn't tell you?
Not in the country anymore, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Because even up to 7 days without communicating with your client can feel like, oh my gosh, I haven't heard from them. Are they out of the country? Because they didn't tell me. So communicate.
If we wanted to make an appointment tomorrow, if you were not around, we'd be like, oh, okay, I guess we're just not going to do that one.
Yeah. So if there's nothing to say it's okay, you still want people to communicate.
Right. And I think, as a teacher, I think one of the hardest things sometimes is saying, I don't know. Because you want to come off as this all-knowing, amazing, whatever. But that's not the reality. None of us have all of the answers. And I think being humble enough to admit, I'm not sure right now, is a very important quality in a person, generally.
I agree with you 100%. I always say, if you don't know, simply say, I don't know, but I'm going to get the answer.
Right.
That's all you have to say.
Too. Google is an amazing tool.
Yeah, but Google isn't always right. I wonder what it says about oil in the pasta water. Don't do it. Okay, so ready for the tortellini, Nicole?
I believe so.
All right, this isn't gonna go well. Sorry, I'm getting right here in front of you.
See, the oil in the water would have prevented that from sticking together like that.
No, it wouldn't. We're having an oil, no oil battle here. There you go. And I've just grated some delicious Reggiano Parmigiano for you.
Yes, love cheese.
All set for you whenever you're ready.
Some of that in there, and then we can keep some of it for topping.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm going to get the plates ready. So any other advice for home buyers, whether the first time, Nicole, or not?
Be patient with other people. Be patient with yourselves. Be kind to yourselves as well.
It's great advice for everybody, whether you're buying a home or not. But I want to say as well, just to remind you, if you like seeing and want to make what Nicole is making, and that's the creamy tortellini with sauteed spinach and tomatoes, please visit our website, Lettiann.com/season 5 recipes. If you have questions for Nicole or questions about looking for a home or being a first-time home buyer, questions for us, please email us at realestateu, like university, realestateu with Lettiann at Lettiann.com, and we'll get those questions answered. If you have any comments or maybe a great tortellini recipe, we'd love for you to share it with us as well. So I'm going to step back here, Nicole. We've got plates ready. If you wouldn't mind plating this up for us.
I would love to.
Beautiful.
Oh, stirring some of the cheese.
Yep. Here, I'll muscle my way in here.
A little bit.
Is that good? Like that?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Beautiful.
Oh, heck yes.
All right.
Cheese is amazing.
Cheese is
yeah,
where
I'm
it's
gonna
at.
mix that
And I'm going to garnish.
Pop your own if you want.
Yep.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Ooh. So good.
Thank you. That's probably good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trade.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Alex, I'm going back over here. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I know you want the whole handful on yours.
Cheese.
I'm going to grab a couple of forks. Oh my gosh. If you could smell this right now, everyone. And we're going to get back over here. Let's give it a go.
Okay. Get that spinach in there.
Oh my word. It was so good. That is outstanding.
The fresh basil and oregano really makes a difference.
So good. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Real Estate You with Lettiann. Thank you for following us on our socials, as well as YouTube, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and all of the audio platforms for our podcast. And thank you for being here.
Of course.
Sorry, I'm stumbling with all of this delicious
good.
creaminess. We'll see you on the next episode of Real Estate You with Lettiann.
The Real Estate You podcast with Lettiann.